Now, this is an incredible sequence we've just hit here. Basically, the film proceeds as a series of exercises, a series of experiments. In this part, we go into these free association games. Now, free association, as in the Freudian game of, I say your word and you say what it makes you think without thinking about it, just say the first word that comes to you. This is what's happening here. But it's one of these bizarre sort of reconstructed scenes in a Godard film, because he's obviously filmed Berto here and Leo later reading a list of words into a tape recorder. And then he plays, this is how I think this scene was constructed, because they're not, of course, in the same space. Then Godard plays the tape back to firstly a child and then an old man who seems to be like a bum, a homeless guy from the street. And we get their free association responses. Now, this little kid, I have absolutely no idea what his real name is, and same for the homeless man. They're lost to the credits and they're lost to history, as far as I know. But they have incredible responses. This kid's responses are unbelievable. Some of the associations he makes, in fact, are very radical, very politically radical. They're quite subversive. They're very funny too, and because the kid never stops smiling the whole way through. It's once again Godard's actual admiration for children. And partly he likes children because they live in their unconscious. They're not censoring anything. Stuff's pouring out of them. Look at this. What's his reaction to revolution is October. I don't know how he got that association with the Russian October Revolution, but it's there somewhere. It's there somewhere in his head. And out it comes. And this was a very important part of May 68, was the playful aspect of the art, the writing and the politics of May 68 had to do with this quality of playfulness, of free association, of letting yourself go, of being uninhibited. And indeed, for instance, when we look at the writings of the great sort of revolutionary philosophers and psychoanalysts, Gilles Deleuze and Félix Guattari, they wrote a famous essay called The Interpretation of Children's Utterances, in which they found, incredible revolutionary messages in just the squiggly drawings that kids would make, and how much of world history would almost unconsciously filter through them and into their drawings or into their ravings, their utterances. So this idea was very much in the air here. And as always, Godard was just endlessly channeling everything that was around him, intellectual ideas, philosophical ideas, political ideas. Now, when we get to this old guy, he's quite an extraordinary character. I am ultra-fascist, he says. I'm not even sure if he knows what he's saying there, but I am ultra-fascist. And he gives these difficult, very literal answers, free association answers. In many ways, it's like a very curious demonstration of the openness of the child versus the far more closed nature of this guy. Presumably he's been through some hard times in his sort of passage through and down the social ladder, and so his reactions are often bizarre. At a certain point, he starts, in fact, talking about the technology. Godard's sound recorder and player, his Nagra or whatever it is, at the time. And because Godard is playing back the tape to the old man, and the old guy goes, "Oh, basically, it's magic. It's my voice. I just said it, and then the machine said it." So this guy is in a strange sort of limbo of political unconsciousness, and so is the child. But the child is, as it were, there are still possibilities with the child. With this guy, it's a slightly grimmer picture. It's something that's going to go through many, many Godard films to come. For instance, the film Number 2 that he made in the mid-70s, which is also partly about this comparison between very young people and very old people.